Hey guys, my name is Brian and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be covering 3 things you need to know in order to start your calisthenics journey the right way and see more results. Not knowing how to properly start calisthenics or bodyweight training is probably the biggest reason why most beginners don't see much progress and eventually quit. So if you're a beginner, these tips are going to be super beneficial for you, but even if you're not, these tips are still going to help you get to the next level. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a complete workout to help you start your calisthenics journey right away, so be sure to stick around till the end. Alright guys, so the first thing you need to know are the fundamental movements. So in my opinion, there are 4 fundamental movements that every beginner should focus on when they start their calisthenics journey. These 4 movements are namely pull-ups, push-ups, chin-ups, and dips. Anyways, these are what I consider to be foundational movements in calisthenics, and it may vary depending on who you ask. Okay, so back to topic, there are a few very good reasons why you should focus on these movements, especially if you're first starting out calisthenics or if you're a beginner. The first reason is that they are compound movements. Compound movements are basically multi-joint movements that work multiple muscle groups at once. This means that you'll be able to move a larger amount of weight or body weight in our context, and as a result progress quicker in terms of building muscle and strength. And as compared to doing isolation exercises like the bicep curl, which are single joint movements, you'll build a generally better physique if you train using compound movements, especially at the start. Why? Someone who does compound exercises will be training multiple large muscle groups at once. For example, if you're doing the push-up, you're training your chest, triceps, and shoulders all at once. This means that you'll be putting mass throughout your body and have a generally better physique. On the flip side, someone who does isolation exercises will only be building one muscle group at a time. For example, if you're doing bicep curls, you're only going to build muscle in your biceps. And even if you build up a lot of muscle in your biceps, you're still going to look small generally because the rest of your body is undeveloped. But of course, you can say that you're going to train every single muscle group in isolation and as a result, build up a nice physique. While that is true, you're probably going to spend a lot more time and spend every day in the gym. Also, if you're a beginner, you're probably not going to have the training discipline to train every single day and not skipping workouts. Therefore, training using compound movements are going to get you a better physique faster when you're first starting out. Secondly, by focusing on the fundamental movements, you're going to build a strong base strength and muscular development needed to progress in your trainings in the future. If you're like most of us who want to progress to harder and cooler exercises like the one-arm pull-up or the clapping push-up and all those advanced stuff, this is how you do it. This is how everyone starts. This initial fundamental strength is a prerequisite to intermediate and advanced bodyweight movements. Anyways, this was a mistake of mine too. When I was first starting out, I always wanted to perform harder exercises quickly. So as a result, I didn't focus on my fundamentals as much and rushed through my progressions. And the result of that was slow progress and a host of injuries. And that totally backfired. So I hope you don't commit the same mistake as me and really take the time to learn your fundamental movements well. Alright, enough said. I think you get the idea behind fundamental movements, so let's get on to the second point of this video, which is regression. I can predict that many of you will be like, but Brian, I can't even do a single pull-up or I can't even do 5 push-ups. How am I supposed to train my fundamental movements? This is when regressions come into the picture. Regressions are basically an easier variation of the exercise that you're training for. Just like how you use a lighter weight in the gym when you're not strong enough yet, in bodyweight training we do the same thing but we perform an easier variation of the exercise itself. So we can make an exercise easier by changing a host of things like the angle of your body or the grip and basically anything that increases leverage. So now I'll be showing you a couple of regressions for each of the 4 fundamental movements. So first, let's look at the pull-up regressions. My favorite regression is the band assisted pull-up as shown here. The thicker the band you use, the easier the pull-up will be. So if you got multiple bands of different resistance, it can be really good for learning the pull-up. Alternatively, if you don't have a band, you can use the ground as assistance just by using your legs as you can see here. In this case, my legs were able to assist me only in the bottom half of the movement because the bar is too high. But if you can find a lower bar or use a chair and kind of put your leg on the chair, you can assist yourself throughout the entire movement. Next, you can do negatives. Negatives are super helpful for learning the eccentric portion of the movement, which is the part where you lower yourself down. Lastly, you can do incline pull-ups. You can change the difficulty of this exercise just by adjusting the angle of your body. The steeper your angle, the easier the movement becomes. Alright, so that's all for pull-ups. Now let's look at chin-ups. So for pull-ups, we've been using a pronated grip like that. But for chin-ups, we'll be using a supinated grip like this. So the regressions will be the same, and it's just changing your grip position from this to this. Alright? Okay, so now let's move on to push-ups. First, we have knee push-ups. It's basically just performing push-ups on your knees. Next, we have incline push-ups, and this is my favorite regression. This is because you can always change the angle you are at to make this regression easier or harder. The more inclined you are, the easier the movement gets. Lastly, we have dips. Similar to pull-ups, we have band-assisted dips. Again, a thicker band will make the exercise easier and vice versa. And then, we have ground-assisted dips. You can change the difficulty of this exercise by using your legs more or less. The last regression will be the bench dip. For this, an easier variation would be to bring your feet in and bend your legs. Now the next question is, how do you determine the regression that you are at? For me, I would say that if you can do 15 to 20 reps with good form, that is your level, and you should be using that regression in your trainings. That being said, I would like to digress a little bit and talk about ego lifting. So many people are not willing to regress and do an easier variation of an exercise, and I feel like it's because they think that by doing so it makes them look weak. That's why I see so many beginners rather rep out poor form and keeping pull-ups instead of regressing to an easier variation like the incline pull-up. And this is a big compromise on their trainings. So please leave your ego at the door and regress when you should. So bottom line, regressions are the key to progressing and getting stronger. Alright, 2 out of 3 things down, the last advice I have for you is to build up repetitions. Once you learn the fundamental movements, you should start focusing on building strength and repetition in these movements before even thinking about starting to progress to harder variations. In the short run, this may seem super boring, but trust me, in the long run, you'll see lots of benefits. Building a strong foundation will allow you to progress faster, and I mean way faster in the future. In the coming videos, I'll be posting some tips and workouts to help you build up repetition in these movements easily, so be sure to check them out. And if you ask me, I'll recommend that you target at least 15 pull-ups, 15 chin-ups, 50 push-ups, and 30 dips. Alright, so as promised, I'll give you a complete workout to help you build up strength in the 4 fundamental movements, no matter which level you're at, so that you can start your calisthenics journey right away. Alright, so for this workout, we'll be using the regressions that we talked about earlier on. So for each of the fundamental exercises, pull-ups, push-ups, chin-ups, and dips, I want you to choose a regression for each of these exercises, which you can do 15 to 20 reps with good form. So for the first part of the workout, you'll be doing 10 reps of each of these 4 exercises with 2 minutes rest between each exercise, and you'll go for a total of 2 rounds. So for example, you'll be going for 10 incline pull-ups followed by 2 minutes rest, followed by 10 push-ups, followed by 2 minutes rest. And you repeat that for 4 exercises and going for 2 rounds. And after that, for the next part of the workout, I want you to choose the next easier regression of the one that you just did. So if you chose, let's say, incline push-ups, I want you to go even more inclined so it becomes easier. The reason is you will be fatigued by this stage, and you need to drop down to an easier variation such that you can maintain doing 10 reps with 2 minutes rest between each exercise. Yep, so same thing as part 1. For part 2, you'll be doing 10 reps per exercise with 2 minutes rest between each exercise, and you'll be going for a total of 2 rounds. So a recap, there'll be a total of 4 rounds. For the first 2 rounds, you'll be doing the regression that you have chosen, and for the next 2 rounds, you'll be doing an easier variation of that regression. Yep, so that is your workout, and here's an example of how this workout should look like. So I recommend doing this workout 2 to 3 times per week with at least 48 hours of rest between each workout. So this workout is going to be great for building that fundamental strength that you need, and I hope you like it. Okay, before I end off, I got a question for you. How many pull-ups, push-ups, chin-ups and dips can you do? I would love to know, so leave a comment below. And if you've enjoyed this video and learned something from it, leave a like and I'll really appreciate it. Oh, and if you haven't, subscribe for weekly videos just like this one and many others. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.